We're gonna pop into writing a Node.js app with MongoDB. Let's go ahead and open this one. And we're not gonna learn any new concepts here with writing a new Node app with MongoDB, but I wanted to make sure that you were able to transfer the skills that you learned from just writing commands into a command line, which is fun for querying, but obviously not useful for writing applications. I just wanted to make sure you could transfer that into code, right? So we're just going to write like a really quick, really dumb MongoDB app. So what I want you to do is I want you to come back over here. Don't shut down your Mongo server. I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. I'm just going to open a new terminal. So I have a directory called personal complete intro to databases. So you can see here I just have an empty database. Or sorry, I also have an empty database, but I have an empty directory. I'm just going to start a new Node project here. So I'm going to make a directory, and this will be called like MongoDB sample or something like that. One note actually I want to add here. If you come here to the course website, I have a repo here, DB samples. This has the complete code for all of the samples in this course. So if you want to just go clone that and use that, that's fine. We're going to be writing all the code together, so you don't have to clone it. But if you get lost, you can obviously just come in here and you can see, what's in the package.json, blah, blah, blah. It's all there for you to use as well. So that's at bt/db samples, and there's a link right there as well. So coming back over here, what we're going to do is we're going to do an npm init-y. This will give us a new package.json. The -y just means I don't really care what things you put in it. And here I'm going to install Express. Let's get a specific version of Express. I forgot which one it is. So we're going to grab Express at 4.17.1. We're going to install MongoDB at 3.6.2. Oh, I already had an Express in there. I have it in there twice. Again, the reason why I'm giving you specific versions for this is that if someone's watching this course in the future, that they're getting the same versions as me. I've been bit by this before where I'll write code for something and then later they update the framework to be totally different. I don't want that to happen. So yeah, just go ahead and grab these specific versions. Or if you want to grab the latest versions, you'll just know that some things might be different and you might have to adjust for that. The first thing that people will probably ask me is like, hey Brian, why are you not using Mongoose, right? Why are you using MongoDB? Totally valid question. Mongoose is a very popular library for interacting with MongoDB in Node specifically. It's what you would call an ORM, which I believe stands for Object Relation Manager, something like that. I honestly couldn't tell you. It's an ORM. That's the thing that I know it as. An ORM basically allows you to you use a library and then the library constructs the queries for you. So it's a layer of indirection between you and the database. This is useful sometimes for some people because it helps them make good choices when they don't know how to make the good choices. I'm trying to teach you how to make the good choices yourself. So we're going to be using MongoDB, which is the official driver from Mongo itself. You'll notice I use the term driver. Driver is kind of the word that you use to describe the library that's made to interact with the database. So there's going to be a Ruby driver, a Python driver, a Go driver, all for MongoDB. So MongoDB is the official one for MongoDB that's put out by MongoDB themselves. Mongoose is like an unofficial community source one. It's great if that's what you want. If you want an ORM, go ahead and go use them. I never use them personally, so I'm going to not teach you those today. Okay, so now we have all of that. I want you to make a directory called static. Make directory static. We're just going to put our index.html in there. And then we're going to create two files here. We're going to put one in static called index.html, and then we're also going to create one in server.js. Touch just creates a file. So now if you look here, let's do this. You can see here I have a node modules, I have a package lock, a package.json, a server.js, and a static directory. Inside of that static directory, you can see there I have an index.html. Pretty bare bones project. We're going to make this very simple. This is not This is definitely not a Node.js course, so the code here is going to be very bare bones. If you want a good Node course, you should take Scott Moss's on Front-End Masters. All right, so I'm going to open this in my favorite editor, obviously, which is going to be VS Code, seeing as that's what I work on. So I'm going to say code dot. And let's make this big, and we're going to look first at our index.html. Make this a bit bigger for you. Going to hide that. All right. So we're in index.html. I'm going to put HTML:5, and then if I hit tab, VS Code is going to autocomplete this out to like a bare bones HTML document. It's called Emmet. Feel free to look that up. E-M-M-E-T. And I'm going to call this my MongoDB sample app. Okay, we're going to make a very bare bones. All this is going to do is we're going to take advantage of that text search, that full text search that we created in one of our previous sections. So again, no CSS, super bare bones. This is just to be a sample application where you can see how to connect a front end to a database through a Node server. So let's put an input in here, and this is going to be type text. The placeholder is going to be equal to search, and the ID is going to equal search. Search, I can spell. Okay. Underneath that, we're going to have a button. ID is going to equal btn. And the code here is going to say search. And then we're going to have a pre, which is a pre-format tag. And inside of that, we're going to have a code, which is going to be code formatted, because we're just going to literally paste JSON in here. We're not going to do any formatting or anything like that. I just want you to see what it looks like. And this is going to be ID equals code. Now, normally I would say create a separate script file. We'll start like a build process, blah, blah, blah. I'm just literally going to put this in a script tag right now so that there's no way that you can get lost here. So we're literally just going to write JavaScript in a script tag here. It's const button. We're going to go query for all of our various different things that we just created. Document.getElement by ID button, and then we're going to do that 2 more times. So once for that, once for code, right? So code is going to be this code element here, and then we're going to do it as well for the search. So search, search, code, code. So this is just going to be a programmatic handle on these 3 different elements up here. Okay. Underneath that, we're going to say button.add event listener. So on click. Oh, sorry, let me hide this again. Okay, so button, add event listener, click. Okay, and then we're going to make an async function here. So whenever someone clicks that code button, we're going to say code.inner text equals loading, so that someone knows that it's loading. And then we're going to say const res equals await fetch, and we're going to get it from /get search equals plus encode URI component search dot value. Oh, no semicolon. Okay. So what this is going to do is as soon as someone clicks the button, it's going to grab the value out of search. It's going to attach that onto a /get, with a query string of search equals blah, right? And then we're going to take that in the node server and we're going to use that to search our Mongo database. Okay, here we're going to say const JSON equals await wetRes.json. Okay, and then here at this point we can say code.inner text equals JSON. Let's add a new line. New line plus JSON.stringify JSON null 4, which is going to be just like a pre-formatted JSON object that we're just going to dump out into the results. So this is extremely bare bones, right? What we expect to see when we open this on the page: an input, a button, and then there'll be nothing in here, just because there's no code in here yet. Then whenever we press the button, it's going to run this event listener, the click event listener. It'll set the text to loading. It'll request to our node server, which we need to code. We're about to do that. And then it's going to get that, and then it's going to dump that out into the pre-code, so that we'll see JSON coming back from our Express server that we're about to write.